Hello everyone. Hope so you all are doing good with your assignments, with your classes and everything. Welcome to another video from Pearson Solutions. This time it's of Excel chapter 5 cumulative assessment travel, and we will try to solve it from the first to the last step of this assignment. So stay tuned and let's start this video. Before starting the assignment, you need to download this Excel file, and let's enable the editing so we can solve it according to the instruction. Drag it here. So let's read the project description. You are the manager of an IT team. Your employees goes to the training workshop, and to keep up to date you create a list of expenses by category. This is what we need to do for the last 6 months. Now you want to subtotal the data. This is the most important thing in this assignment. And this one, these are the two main tasks that we will do in this assignment. So let's start the Excel. Download and open the file. I think I have already downloaded the file. You need to download it if you haven't downloaded it from your Pearson portal, Pearson Synagogue, or whatever you are using. So step number 2 is, before using the subtotal command, you must first sort the data. We need to sort the data before using the subtotal command. It is saying on the subtotal worksheet, this is the subtotal worksheet. Be careful about that. We need to be on subtotal worksheet. Sort the data by employees and further sort it by category, both in alphabetical order. I told you in the last video of cumulative assessment auto sales chapter 4 that when there are more than 2 sorts in each step, so we will use custom sort option to solve the step. Like this is the one field, this is the another, and this is category. So there are total 3 fields and we need to sort 2 fields. So we will use the custom sort. Come to the home tab, editing group, then sort and filter, and here is the custom sort. So we will use the first level, like sort the data by employees and category. This is the one, this is the second. By employees in alphabetical and category in also alphabetical. By employees in alphabetical order, and add another level. This is by category, and this is also in alphabetical order, both in alphabetical order. Look at that. So we will just hit the OK button and it will be solved. There we go. It is sorted in alphabetical order, both by employees and by category. So let's come to the third step of this assignment. It is saying that you want to subtotal the data to calculate expenses by employees. Okay, we will use this command. Use the subtotal command feature to insert subtotal rows by employees. We need to categorize it in 2 steps. Subtotal rows by employees, remember this, to calculate the total expense. To calculate what we need to do to calculate the total expense. First step is to subtotal the rows by employees. To what we need to do to calculate the total expense by employees. Select summary below the option. So let's come to the data tab. Here is the data tab, outline, and then here is a group subtotal. First we need to click within the range, within the data, then click here the subtotal. So here where we need to make these 2 changes, like we need to subtotal rows by employees at each change in employee, and use function. Which function we need to do? We will use a sum, because it requires us to calculate the total expense. For totaling the data, we need to sum that by employees, subtotal, total expense by employees. Here it is, subtotal by employees. There we go. So we will, read the last line. Select the summary below the data. This box should be checked. This is the box. If it is not checked, then it will not give us the desired result. Just hit the OK button and it will be sorted according to the requirement of this step. So this step number 3 is completed. Now we will move on to the step number 5 of this, step number 4. Now you want to hide the details for 2 employees and focus on the details for the remaining employees. Collapse the Davidson and Miller section. These are the two employers. The details of whom will be hidden. One is Davidson and another is Miller. One is Davidson and Miller. We will look for, here is the Abbott's, here is Davidson, here is Hertz, and here is the Miller. How we will hide the details of these 2 employees? This is the employee data and this is his details. Okay. If you click on this minus sign, the details for Davidson will be hidden, will hide. There we go. If you click on the plus sign, detail is shown. Now here is the detail. So detail for Davidson and the Miller section will be hidden. Davidson is hidden. Now we will hide the detail for Miller. Here we go. Just click here. The detail for Miller is also hidden now. So step number 4 is completed. Leave the other employees individual rows displayed. For more details, so we are on the step number 5 of this assignment. For more detailed analysis, you are ready to create a pivot table. Here we will create the pivot table. This is the second most important step of this assignment. So watch it carefully so you learn it perfectly. Use the expenses worksheet. First of all, we need to change our worksheet. Currently we are working on the subtotal, then we will change to the expensive worksheet. Here we go. On this worksheet we will create the pivot table. Use the expensive worksheet to create a blank pivot table on a new worksheet called summary. We have to create a pivot table on a new worksheet, blank pivot table. So we have to click anywhere in the range of this worksheet. Then we will click the insert tab, and what we need to do, we need to create a blank pivot table. This is pivot table, and we need to create a pivot table from this table or range, on a new worksheet. We have to look that either we need to add this data to the data model or not. We will look at the instruction. If it is saying that add, then we will check that box. Otherwise we will leave it as it is. Use the expensive. So it does not say anything about this step, so we will leave it as it is on a new worksheet. So we will click OK. And we will change the name of the worksheet. From here you can double click it. Also you can right click and click the rename and change its name to the summary. There we go. We have to change the name of this worksheet to summary, and we have to name the pivot table. Pivot table also have a name. It's called categories. So we have to click the anywhere in the pivot table, then we will click here. If you have clicked here, then it will not be displayed. If you want this dialog open to be open, you must click in the pivot table, otherwise it's better. Look at it, it's hidden now. If you click here, then it's here. This is the field where you need to put the name of the pivot table, and we need to put it as categories. Just click the enter button and the name is categories. Look at it. You want to include the category and expenses field in the pivot table. So we have created a blank pivot table. Tables are shown here. Now we need to enter the field in these boxes, like this is the filter, column, values and rows box. So we need to enter the field here. You want to include these field. Use category and expenses field, enabling Excel to determine where the field go in the pivot table. Here is a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding is like that. If it says that you have to drag it here, here, here or here, then you have to do it that way. But this time it is saying that you have to give access to the Excel to enable to determine where the field go in the pivot table. So you need to just check the box for category and expenses field. Here is a category field, check that box, and here is the expense field. So Excel just put the category in the rows column and expenses in the values column. Okay, this was the task of the Excel, and we have nothing to do with that step. We have to just check the box for category and expenses field. So this step is also completed. Now we need to move on to the step number 7. You want to display the average expense instead of total. Okay, this is expense. Here is the expense here is the sum of expenses. So it is displayed in total, and we need to change it to the average. Modify the values field. We need to modify the values field. How to modify it? Just right click here, check that, click that down arrow and it will be shown. We need to click value field setting. There we go. If we have clicked here, then what we need to do to determine the average expense by category, we need to change the function to the average. Okay, average of expense by category. Change the custom name to the average expense. We need to change the custom name to this one. This is the custom name, and here we need to put that name here. So we will just click on the OK button to display the expenses by categories, average of expenses by categories. There we go. It is now shown as average. Next step is we have to format the value field with the accounting number format. So I will show you the two ways to do this step. First step is like we can do it in two ways. First step is just click here, select this range, click the home tab, and then click here and display it in the number format, whatever required. But the most formal way is just click the down arrow here, value field setting and number format. This is the number format, and we need to change it from here. Value field with the accounting number format. This is the accounting number format with 2 decimal places. These are the default numbers, so we will not change that. Just click the OK. It was already displayed in the accounting number format. If it was not displayed, then you have to change that. You want to display the meaningful, so we are on the step number 9, meaningful label and a different layout. Okay, we will display a meaningful label. Type category in cell A3. Category in cell A3. Where is cell A3? Here is a cell A3, and we have to type category here. Just click the enter button and it is changed. And change the grand total layout option to on for rows only. We have to change the grand total layout. So from where we will change it, so I have to show you that how to change the grand total layout to the on for rows only. So click in the pivot table, then pivot table analyze. We will not find that option. So we need to click in the design tab, then click the report layout. From here we have to change the this is the button from where we need to change the layout to the on for rows only. There we go. We will click here, on for rows only. Values are also changed. So this step number 9 is completed. Now we need to move on to the step number 10. So step number 10 says that you have to apply light blue pivot style dark 2. This is the style that we need to apply, and we'll look at the other step in the after a while. So first we have to apply the light blue pivot style dark 2. So these are the pivot table styles and light blue pivot style dark 2. Dark. This is light, medium and dark. Light blue pivot style dark 2. This is the style that we need to apply to this pivot table. So we will just click here. There we go. I've clicked here and style is applied. And then display the banded rows. How to display the banded rows? Just click that box. Check that box. If it says that you have to apply the banded column, then check that box. If it is saying that you have to display the banded rows, then just check that box. There we go. There we go. The banded rows is applied. So step number 10 is also completed. Now we need to move on to the step number 11. To make it easy to filter the pivot table results, you will insert and format a slicer. Insert a slicer for the employees field. What we need to do, we need to insert a slicer. For which field? For the employees field. Okay, we will do so. So click in the table and then click the insert tab and then go for the slicer. It will open the insert slicer dialog box, and then we will choose for the which field we have to insert the slicer. For the employees field it is saying. There we go. This is the employees field and we will click the OK button. There we go. The insert slicer is inserted. Change the slicer height to 2 inches. In this tab, in this part of step number 11, what we need to do, we need to format that slicer that we just inserted. Change the slicer height to 2 inches. This is the height of the slicer. We need to change it to the 2 inches. From here we will change it. And slicer width. Where is the and then apply the light blue slicer style dark 5. Then we have to change the style of the slicer. From here we will light blue slicer style dark 5. This should be the light blue slicer style.5. This is the style that we need to insert, that we need to apply, and we will just hit that. There we go, it is applied. Move the slicer so that upper left corner is in the cell A10. We have to move the slicer so that upper left corner is in cell A10. Right click, just cut it and paste it here. This is the most perfect way to move the slicer or table or chart to from one position to another position. You can also drag and drop it, but this is the most suitable way that I usually use and that I recommend to you people. So follow that one. So we have completed the step number 11 for this assignment. Now we are moving on to the step number 12. What we need to do in this step, we need to insert another pivot table. So our first pivot table is completed. Here we go. We have also inserted the slicer from this pivot table, from one of the field of this pivot table, and now we will move on to create another pivot table to analyze the data on the expenses worksheet. Here we go. We have to move on to this sheet. Okay. Use the expenses worksheet to create another blank pivot table on a sheet named totals. So we will again create a blank pivot table on a new worksheet. This time again on a new worksheet called totals. We have to change the name of that sheet to total. So we will hit that range. We will click the insert, then down arrow of the pivot table, then from table and range. We have to again check whether instructor wants us to check that box or not. So we will read the complete instruction. So it doesn't say anything about that. So leave that box unchecked. There we go. We have to change the name of that sheet to totals. Click the enter button. Double click, change the name, and then hit enter. There we go. And again we have to give the name to this pivot table, and this time the name is called employees. So employees will be the name of our new blank pivot table. Click that down arrow, and this is called employees pivot table. This is shown as pivot table 2. When we hit the enter button, it will change to the employees. There we go. And this part of this step is to fill these boxes. Fill the filter, column, values, and rows box. So what we need to do? In the first, we need to add employees to the rows. Add employees. Here is the employees. We have to drag that, and we have to drag to the rows. We can simply right click and then add it from here. Like if we remove that field from here, right click and then add to the rows. It is also the same way. You can also drag it here and drag it here wherever you want. So there are two ways. First way is to drag and drop. Second is to right click and then add it to the filter, column, values, slicer, whatever it says. Okay, so we will move on to the next part of this step. It is saying that add the expenses field to the values area. So expenses to the values area. Here is the expense. Drag and drop it to the values box. There we go. Sort the pivot table from largest to the smallest expense. We have to sort it from here, smallest to largest expense. We need to sort the expense from smallest to the largest expense. So we will select that go to the home tab, and then we will go here to the sort and filter group, sort it from smallest to the largest. Click here. There we go. This is now sorted from, sorry, we have to sort it from largest to the smallest expense. So we'll do it again, largest to the smallest expense. This time the miller is on the top. If we sort it from largest to the smallest, overturn is on the top and miller is on the bottom. So this is how it changes if you sort it from smallest to largest or largest to smallest. Change the name of the expenses column to total. Expenses column to total. There we go. We have to change the name of expenses column to total. This is the value field setting. Click here, and then we will change the custom name to totals. Hit the enter button. There we go. The name is changed. And the next step is to format the field with the accounting number format. How to format that field, I have shown you two ways. Like, first you can select that and you can change it from here. Second one was that you can just click here, value field setting, number format, and then apply the required format. Like we have to apply the accounting number format. This is the accounting number format. By default it has applied, so click OK. There we go. So it's applied now. Best practice is to save the assignment after every step. So I have saved it again. So this is also something new in this assignment, like this part. Step number 14 is we have to insert a calculated field to subtract this value from the total field. How to insert a calculated field? Come to the Excel, click here, then pivot table analysis, and we have to come to the calculation tool and click the down arrow which shows that fields, item and set, and then hit the calculated field. Here we will create a new calculated field and insert it. What we need to do in this field, subtract this value from total field. So actually expenses is the name of total field. We need to double click it, minus sign, then that value. There we go. This is the formula that we need to enter. After creating the field, we have created the field, change the custom name to above or below the average. Above or below the average. Above or below the average. Above or below average, sorry. When we hit the enter button, this field will be added to this pivot table. There we go. This field is added here. And it is saying that you have to apply the accounting number format. Apply the accounting number format in the way that I have shown you. Value field setting, number format, accounting number format is applied by default. Therefore, there we go. Click OK. We have to change the custom name to above or below average. Already exists, so click OK. So this name is applied. What we need to do, so we have completed the step number 14 of our assignment. So this is the 15th step, number 15. What we need to do is to apply some formatting to the columns and rows. It is saying that you have to set 10.86 as width for column B. How to do so? This is very simple, like click on the top of that column, right click, then column width, and change the width to 10.86 and click OK. There we go. The change field is column width is. In the next part of this tab, we have to change the width of column C to 13.71. Do the same procedure that we did in the last tab. 13.71. Click OK. There we go. And then change the row height for row 3 to 30. Row height for row 3. This is the row 3. Right click, row height, and we have to change it to the 30. Click OK. There we go. And apply the word wrap to the cell C3. Here is C3. We have to apply the wrap from here, wrap tag, so it will be written like that. So this was the formatting that we need to apply in this pivot table. Next, what we need to do next in step number 16, we have to insert the get pivot data function in cell F1 in the expenses worksheet. Open the expenses worksheet. In cell F1, this is F1. We have to, how to apply that function I will show you. This is very simple. Just come to the cell F1 in the expenses worksheet. This is F1 in the expenses worksheet. Put the equal sign. What this function should do, it should retrieve the value from cell B9 in the total worksheet. Come to the cell total worksheet and click cell B9, and this function is applied. Click, just hit the enter button. There we go. This function is applied. You will not need to put that function. You will just put the equal sign, then the cell from where it want to retrieve the value, like this was the B9 or C9, whatever it was. So we have applied the get pivot data function in this way. So step number 16 is also completed. Now we are moving on to the step number 17. This is somewhat different, like we have to create a pivot chart. Till that step we were dealing with the pivot table, but in this step we will deal with pivot chart. Now you want to create a pivot chart to depict the data visually. Create a clustered column pivot chart from the pivot table. This is the pivot table. We have to create a clustered column pivot chart. Come to the insert tab and come here. Click and click that pivot chart. Which chart we need to insert? Clustered column pivot chart. So by default it is showing the clustered column pivot chart. Just click the OK button and chart is inserted. There we go. Move the pivot chart to the new chart sheet name called chart. Select that chart, come to the design view of that chart, then click the move chart to the new worksheet. What should be the name of that sheet? chart. There we go, and click OK. So this chart will be moved from expenses or total worksheet to that sheet called chart. It is saying that hide all field button in pivot chart if necessary. If your field button are shown, then you have to hide these. For that, what you need to do, click here, then field buttons, and we have to hide all of these. Click here. So the field buttons are now hidden for this chart if necessary. So step number 18 is add a chart title above the chart. And type expenses by. I have shown you 18 steps of this assignment. If you want me to do this assignment for you, if you want another assignment to do it for you, if you need help with any course in any subject like accounting, finance, mathematics, statistics, writing stuff, anything you need help with, just hit me on WhatsApp or email. I will do this full course for you at very fine cost. You cannot even imagine, literally. It will be so fine for you that you will make a deal in just a click. So just hit me on WhatsApp or email. Thank you so much, and I will show you this step how to do that. We have to add a chart title, expenses by employees. So chart title option for chart title is not shown. What we need to do, we have to come to the design tab, then add chart element, chart title above the chart. Hit enter. There we go. So the chart title is inserted. Change the chart style to style number 14. We can change the style from two ways. First way is just click here and then drag it down so you can see the what chart 16, chart style 14 is. This is the one. Click here. You can also do it from here. Click here and this 14, 13, 14, whatever it says, then you have to apply that style. Best practice is to save after each step. There we go. I have saved that again. Apply the 1811 pt font size to the value axis. These are the value axis, and I have to apply 11 pt font size. Come to the home tab, then change the font size to 11, so it is now displayed in a bigger font. In the next, it is saying that display the axis as a counting number format with 0 decimal places. This is the axis and we have to display it in a counting number format with 0 decimal places. Okay, we will do so. So the last thing in this assignment is to display the axis as a counting number format with 0 decimal places. So we will do it. This is the axis option. Come here, come down. You have to expand that option, number format, expand that number dialog box, counting number format with 0 decimal places. We have to write 0. Click the OK. Therefore, there we go. You can see that now these numbers are displayed as 0 decimal places. So this is the last part of this assignment, and we have completed this assignment from first to the last step. If you need help with this assignment or any other assignment in this course, just hit me on WhatsApp or email. I am just a click away from you people, and I can do this complete course for you if you want me to do. Okay, thank you so much. I will see you in another video. Just subscribe my channel and stay tuned. Goodbye.